Up with KREM begins now.
5:30 now. Another patient is being treated after being exposed to mold at Seattle Children's Hospital. We'll tell you how leaders are handling the most recent case up ahead.
And outside, dry skies to kick off our Wednesday. We're halfway through the week and we are going to be sticking with those dry conditions for a good portion of it. But we see a return date to showers. We'll talk about that coming up.
And 2 cases of the whooping cough were reported at Spokane Valley High School. Learn more about the diagnosis and how schools handle these cases next.
Well, today is World Kindness Day. The day was first introduced in 1998 by the World Kindness Movement. People all around the world are taking time out of their day to be extra kind to their neighbors.
Alrighty.
Think twice before sending off that snarky email.
Right.
That's right.
Right. We could use more kindness in the
Yeah,
world.
random acts of kindness.
Yes.
Be nice to one another, right?
Yeah.
All right, and you're saying people are being asked to kind of wear cardigans?
Yeah, so on Facebook, I mean, you don't believe everything you see online. I'll recommend, but seeing a lot of posts of people saying today, because of World Kindness Day, wear a cardigan in honor of Mr. Rogers. Because, I mean, who better to epitomize, you know, being kind? Mr. Rogers. So if you are getting dressed this morning, maybe wear a cardigan. Maybe put, you know, you're kind of putting on the Mr. Rogers persona of kindness.
Yes.
So.
And if
I
you
love
can't,
that.
then just walk out and sing.
You've
while
got
you
kind of a
open the
cardigan.
door.
Well, this is sweater.
Sweater,
but sweater cardigan.
Close enough. The
We'll
female
call it-
version. Sure. Yeah. Close cardigan. Yeah.
I'm going to try to consider this a cardigan. I'm going to
Well, you
start
know what?
wearing cardigans.
Whoever-
Yes.
Evan, you're always nice, so you
Thank
don't have
you.
to wear
We'll
a
have you
guys-
waltz
that's
in
what I
and take your
actually-
shoes off and put your
Exactly.
slippers on.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that. No, I'm always surrounded by kindness with these things. So I exactly. All right, time for weather. So we are starting the day with dry skies. That's kind of the good part of the forecast. World Kindness Day, dry weather. That's at least a positive. If you're spending any of the day outside, well, anticipate low clouds and fog to start off the morning. Temperatures are chilly, of course. We're mainly in the 30s, but warming up to about the mid 40s in the afternoon. Current visibility as we speak, well, we are at 4 miles at the Spokane Airport, 7 downtown, 7 in Pullman, 6 in Coeur d'Alene, and the trouble spots are down toward the southern counties where Tri-Cities only sees a mile of visibility and Walla Walla quarter mile. So wherever, and visibility just diminished around Spokane and down to a mile. So things are going to get worse before they get better on the fog front. We will see the worst fog come in, I'd say within the next hour or two, and then by the time we get to about 10 and 11 a.m., we'll start to see some steady improvements, but it is going to take some time. Snow still on the sides of the roads in Sandpoint and in Pend Oreille. They were hit hard yesterday. They saw a couple inches of snow, so for all of our friends up there, we apologize. You got the brunt of this storm. For us in Spokane, we were just stuck with some light snowflakes, and then it turned over to rain. So wasn't too bad of a day and no sticking rain, or no sticking snow, I should say. Temperatures this afternoon will make their way to the mid 40s. We've got 45 degrees as that afternoon high. It's going to take some time before we see any of the sun because of just how much moisture we have on the ground that is going to be evaporated and just hang tight towards us. So a good chance of low clouds all the way through the day today, and then by the afternoon we're hoping that we should see a little bit of the sun peek out behind the clouds. We are going to talk about when we see our next round of showers. That will likely be on Friday. Details on that arrival are in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Evan, thank you. This morning, 2 students are recovering from whooping cough in Spokane Valley. Both are students at University High School. Health experts diagnosed 1 student last week and the second last weekend. The school sent a letter to parents and students warning about the symptoms. Experts say treatment for whooping cough usually includes 5 days of antibiotics. 3 men are behind bars for sexually assaulting a teenage girl in Spokane. It happened last year. Investigators say the men, between the ages of 44 and 60, all assaulted the 14-year-old girl. They say the men forced her to take drugs and held her captive for 3 days. The men will each spend about 4 years in prison and 3 years in community custody. Another patient is sick at Seattle Children's Hospital after being exposed to mold. Starting today, the hospital is closing all operating rooms. Now on Monday, experts found mold in 5 different rooms, including the operating rooms. In all, experts say the mold sickened at least 5 patients. Washington voters rejected Referendum 88, which would have reinstated affirmative action. Had it passed, it would have given preferential treatment to people in minority groups. It would have also applied to gaining admission to public colleges and universities. Voters rejected the referendum by about 13,000 votes. Well, that is your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM.
Spokane City Council member Brian Beggs is now in the lead for council president for the first time. That's after trailing Cindy Wendell since election night.
I'm feeling very excited. Really not just going in the lead, but the trend for the last 3 counts has really been sharply our direction.
That lead is as narrow as it gets, just 7 votes. Our political reporter Casey Decker has been following this race from the very start.
On election night, Cindy Wendell was leading the race for Spokane City Council president.
We've got some really complex issues that we want to talk about, and the way that we have addressed them, I think the voters realize that they just weren't working.
But in the days that followed, Brian Beggs began cutting into her lead, and today he's up for the first time by just 7 votes right now.
And if that continues on, we'll be more than 7 votes ahead in a few days.
There are still 8,100 votes left to process countywide, though only a portion of those will pertain to this race. Still, Beggs isn't declaring victory yet.
Well, it's so close. I don't really want to give you any false bravado on it. I'm so happy to be in this position and the trend going my way.
The trend is also going in the way of a recount. State law requires them under certain conditions. If the difference between the candidates is fewer than 2,000 votes and less than 0.5% of the total votes the two get combined, a machine recount is mandatory. If the difference is fewer than 150 votes and less than 0.25%, a recount by hand is required. If it doesn't meet either criteria, candidates, parties, or even groups of voters can request a recount if they're willing to pay for it. With the current numbers, a by-hand recount would be required, a process that could take weeks. Since 2001, there have been 20 recounts in Spokane County. None of them have resulted in the outcome being changed. However, you might remember back in 2004, Christine Gregoire and Dino Rossi faced off in the race for governor of Washington. Rossi was in the lead after the ballots were counted, but after the recount and several twists and turns in lawsuits and court decisions, Gregoire came out on top.
Well, it's time for your speed feed stories you'll see on social media this morning. So first we want to get started with Netflix has officially dropped its first teaser trailer for Selena the series, and fans can't get enough of it. So Netflix release is giving Selena fans a first look at star Christian Serratos as the Queen of Colombia. The coming of age story chronicles the iconic singer's rise. That premieres in 2020. And this is Potato the cat, who has more Instagram followers than I'll ever have, almost 36,000. The internet has fallen in love with his bulging googly eyes. Like many proud fur parents, an Instagram account was created, and Potato got his first taste at fame on Instagram. And they have a lot of photos of Potato just doing a lot of, look at all those hashtags. That's amazing. Hashtag ginger, hashtag chubby, hashtag curves.
And his name is Potato, right? I like his Instagram name, the real Catato.
Potato. I was not expecting this picture. He looks surprised.
Cats don't even know what they look like. I feel like they're always just like, why are people looking at me?
What?
But it's because you look like that.
Is there something wrong with my face?
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Dana Marie, thank you so much.
Time now, 5:39. We are learning the name of the Washington State University student whose death is being investigated. In the next half hour, more on that investigation and how the university is responding.
And we want to say congratulations to Lori Jones. She won 2 Up with Creme coffee mugs, coffee beans, and a gift card to Thomas Hammer Coffee Roasters. Details on how to enter to win are on krem.com. You can subscribe to our newsletter or enter on the Up with Creme Facebook page.